Hey, what's up, you fat f***? Let's start this over. What is up, guys? It is your boy Weenie, doing a little bit different of a video today. It's gonna be a Black Ops 3 video. I ended up finding a custom zombies map, and it just so happens to be Battle for Bikini Bottom, the spawn in which you start out in when playing the game. Battle for Bikini Bottom is nearest and dearest to my heart, in which this entire video is not only a gameplay of zombies, of me playing the game, but also just explaining how it was a part of my childhood. I understand for those who watch the content on my channel or across my channels, you would understand this is a little bit different from what I'm used to. So bear with me, and if you do enjoy it, I hope you stick around. If you really enjoy it, don't be shy to share it with a friend. Bop. Oh my goodness, this reminds me, if I'm not mistaken, because of this on the wall right here, your Bikini Bottom stinks. That was from Battle from Bikini Bottom. Oh, that's gonna get on my nerves, low-key. Yeah, it's got the shiny objects on the bottom right as well. Oh goodness, it's gonna be great. I don't know which door to open first. Oh goodness, got a train. Bop. Let's open this one. Let's see what this does. Okay, there's double tap. Awesome. Let's see what's in here. Mule kick. Okay. Got the Cuda here. This is pretty much exactly like it is on Battle for Bikini Bottom. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely played a lot of Battle for Bikini Bottom back on the PlayStation 2. Oh my, that was literally my childhood. All right, let's see what's in this door. Quick revive. We're gonna need that. Yeah, Battle for Bikini Bottom. The spatula would be right there. Yep, I knew that would happen. I was going to be 990 points. I just need 10 to open this door, man. No. Need to be tagged once. Let's open this door. Okay, we got the mist. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, on Battle for Bikini Bottom, you could jump on top of that. Uh-oh. This is going to get really hard. I don't know what I'm going to do with low-key. I mean, I guess I could just shoot until I get enough points to hit the box. Okay, now I got enough. Let's see what I can get. But yeah, I completely believe that this is a 100%. This is going to be a 100% replica of Battle for Bikini Bottom. The map. It's going to be great. All right, let's see what this place has to offer. It's the library. Yes, exactly how it is on Bikini Bottom. Yes. All right, let's see what I have. Yes, the tikis. How do you get up there? Huh? I'm so confused right now. Bop, bop, bop. Okay. Oh, you're fast, you're fast. Let me go ahead and see what I can get from the box. Is it a point gun? No, this is not a point gun. No, this is not what I wanted at all. Okay, so that door is 3,000. Let me see if I missed anything. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and open up this door. Oh goodness, that was not a part of the plan. All right, we almost got enough for Jug. Go ahead and group them up at least one more time. It's kind of hard to tell with these ducks over here. It's kind of hard to tell which ones are still alive. All right, so I got those. I got enough for Jug. Let me go ahead and buy that. All right, I bought Jug. Awesome. Oh yeah, there was a door over here. I forgot about that. Was there? I swear there was a door over here that I could buy. I think I was mistaking it for these three. I think I was, yeah. Get as many knife points as I can. Part of me wants to go back here and just train from back here. I'm not trained, but do the dirty work from back here. Oh, I'm running low ammo on the PPSH. Let me at least buy double tap for now. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to go and get the box. Argus, that's not bad. I definitely could have gotten something worse. HVK, let's see what we can do with this. That might be good. Okay, I wonder if I can get all 5 perks, or there's Mule Kick. That will give me 3, or I could get Speed Cola, which I'm going to be training, so I'm not sure if that would be reasonable. I'm not sure on which one to get. That's why I'm curious on if I can carry 5 perks. Oh well, we'll see how it turns out. The thing I really love about this map, though, obviously I've said it before, but it's just an exact resemblance of Battle for Bikini Bottom, where in the spawn room over there, where it would normally have Gary, that's where you spawn in after the introduction of the game. It'll show you, it'll do like a intro scene. Spongebob will be talking, Patrick will be talking, and you got Plankton showing the Duplicatortron 3000. After the introduction, it'll put you into that room, and I can't remember. I think it would have been. I assume it would have been one of the robots that spray painted your Bikini Bottom stinks. I don't think it would have been Gary. That would have been pretty funny though if it was Gary that showing that. Yeah. I want to keep the PPS each. I don't want to pack a punch that. Let's go ahead and pack a punch the MD08. Oh yeah. Kind of wish it was the Origins pack a punch camo. I understand I could get that if I wanted to, but I just haven't really thought about it. Speaking of Origins, though, I really love Origins overall. I think, in my opinion, obviously this is going to differ to everybody, but Origins, in my opinion, was one of the top maps that I've ever played. And that's including World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4. Obviously, we all know Black Ops 3 and Zombies Chronicles, it includes Origins. I'd have to say the original Black Ops 2 would have to be my personal favorite. Understand the Gobblegums could make the game a lot more fun. If you're trying to go for like an Origins Easter egg or something, obviously the Gobblegums make it a lot easier. Oh, there's the hidden sock. That's a cool little feature. Like I had said earlier, I'll continue the Origins discussion in a second, but like I was saying earlier about this room, how you can get a sock from the top, you would use that button right there to go up top and hit a few trampoline type things, and you would get the hidden sock up there. I'd definitely say that sock, that hidden sock right there behind the floorboard, I definitely have to say that was a really cool hidden feature. I really like that. Personally, Black Ops 2 Origins is one of the best maps I've played, and that's even including Kino, all of those on the list. And I don't know, for me, I just really like the Black Ops 2 version of Origins. It definitely is one of the harder maps to play, in my personal opinion. The pistol, and we all know the pistol is not exactly a good gun. However, I can't remember, it's the Boomhilda. Whenever you pack a punch it, chef's kiss. It is beautiful. Overall, I think it's the best map. Barry would have to be the second, but I do know the long shot perma-perk, it was really good to use. That little hallway, or that corridor, whichever you would call it, you could have 3 people, oh goodness, you could have 3 people set up, so where you have 1 or 2 people, or whatever the case may have, whatever scenario and however you guys prefer to have it set up. Your squad's making sure you're not going to die or something, would have that sniper and have that long shot perma-perk. I might as well get this. You can have that long shot perma-perk, and while those other people are protecting you and making sure they're not going to override you guys, because you have the snipers out, and we all know snipers aren't really the best on round 40, 50, which is definitely where, I don't know, there's not really good things to weaken zombies on Barry. Example, like on Origins, you can use like the ice staff or something to get them frozen and definitely weakened. Anyway, by the time you get to round 50, not even round 50, excuse me, by the time you get to round 20, you'll most likely have over 40,000 to your name, and that's if you had 0, absolutely 0, once you had everything set up. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure of what to talk about. I've gone over everything that's in my heart. Origins in my heart, bro. Actually, video games in general. I love video games. If you guys haven't been able to tell, I'm definitely a Call of Duty fan, but overall, I'd have to say Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Otherwise, I wouldn't be playing this map. I think whenever I was like 6 or 7 years old, I was this is the very first time I'd actually remember touching a game. Well, actually, this would have to be. I'm not exactly going to include like the plug and play consoles with the joysticks, you know, like not exactly an Atari, but example, there would be some consoles where you can plug into your TV, the plug and play ones, and it would have about 4 or 5 games on there, whatever. It would maybe be $5-10 at your local store. Anyway, one that I used to play was Dig Dug, Pac-Man, and all that, but that was beside the point. So excluding those, because those were definitely the first ones that I started playing. When I was growing up, ain't no way I was going to start out on a PS2 or a PS3. At 7 years old, not happening. Everybody grown up different. Everybody has a different childhood. I'm just very thankful I got to experience my childhood with the video games that I ended up falling in love with, nearest and dearest to me. One of the games I had grown up playing, like I said before, Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom. You guys are probably going to hear that a lot on my channel, but I grew up playing Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom, and ended up playing that on the PS2. I ended up getting the PS2 for Christmas. Or no, let me go ahead and backtrack a little bit. Me and my dad, we were at I think it was like a pawn shop or something. I don't know. I don't have much memory of it. But this was whenever I was, I think I might have been 3 years old. Anyway, so we were at this pawn shop type thing, because I'm not really sure what it was. Anyway, we were at this place, and they had I'd say like a barrel, like a keg, a wooden barrel. And above that barrel sat a mounted TV, and plugged into that TV was a PlayStation 2. I was like, what's up? In my mind, I was like, I didn't know what the heck this was. I was intrigued by what it was. I was so intrigued on what it was. My dad was over here at a counter talking to I wasn't the cashier. It was pretty much like a manager, I suppose, behind the counter. Anyway, he was talking to him, and I was sitting there in awe over what was shown on the TV, because I had never seen anything with that amount of graphics. And I saw something that pulled me into wanting to play whatever was on that screen, and whatever got me into that. It would have had to been that I saw SpongeBob. And at the time, I think this was the demo version for the game. because the demo version had an intro scene, pretty much like you would first load up a game, I guess. Anyway, I had a little introduction thing where it would show you the intro to the game. So anyway, I saw SpongeBob on the introduction video, the trailer, I guess. Yes, the trailer. Thank you. Something's wrong with me. I'm saying thank you to myself. Wow. So anyway, I saw SpongeBob and I went over there. I picked up the controller. I'd never seen this controller before. The only thing I knew at the time was those plug-and-play games, just one joysticks and maybe 2 or 3 buttons. That's all I knew at the time. I was like, what's this? I was absolutely intrigued. I can't stress that enough. So I picked up the controller. So anyway, I'm sitting here 3 years old playing a video game. I didn't even know that, like, oh my gosh, what is this? This is so amazing. Trying to figure out what is this and everything like that. So after the few button presses that I'd pressed, the trailer stopped showing. I haven't even told you guys what game this is. I'm so sorry. The SpongeBob game that intrigued me so much, as a matter of fact, it wasn't even Battle for Bikini Bottom. It was actually the SpongeBob movie game from 2004 that released on GameCube, Xbox Original, and PlayStation 2. So on the SpongeBob movie game from 2004, it's just like in the movie, the start of the SpongeBob movie, original SpongeBob movie from 2004. Start out with, there's a mishap at the Krusty Krab where a customer somehow didn't have cheese, and SpongeBob pulls up in this nice rod. Turns out he's the manager of the Krusty Krab too. I apologize for those who haven't been watching them or haven't seen the movie before, but yes, I just did spoil it if you haven't seen it. So anyway, just like the movie, you start out in, you see the Krusty Krab, Krusty. You start out at the Krusty Krab area. It's actually more of the front yard of the Krusty Krab area, and you've got police tape all over. You got, so anyway, like I said, you start out in the little courtyard in the front yard of the Krusty Krab. So I kind of get the hang of it, and I'm somewhat figuring out the path, I guess. But it was not even maybe 10% of figuring out the path. It wasn't even on the scale, in my opinion. I sit here and I see the police tape, and I see the Krusty Krab. I'm like, oh, I know what that place is. I want to go there. So I'm sitting here on a new game. I don't even know what I was doing. On a controller I'd never picked up before, game I'd never seen, thing I never knew even existed. I'm sitting here trying to go to the Krusty Krab, and I get so frustrated. I am so mad at the game. Like, why can't I go over to the Krusty Krab? The Krusty Krab, I want to go to the Krusty Krab. So I bring him over to the game, show him what I'm talking about. And he's like, son, you can't go to the Krusty Krab. There's a blocked-in area. There's a fenced-in area. It was the police tape that was blocked in by. So anyway, my dad takes the controller and he starts playing along, and he started following the trail, and he started picking up these little in-game currency thing. It's pretty much like Battle for Bikini Bottom's the shiny objects. It's about the equivalent anyway. Over these dumbbells that you had to pick up. So anyway, he was running along collecting those and going along the trail, or the pathway that you're supposed to go to, that the game intends you to go to. So anyway, he gets me along to the Krusty Krab, and I figure out what to do, and we figured out the button you pressed, you can actually use stuff, and you can actually break stuff with that action. We use that to break a few tikis. We figure out what's the, okay, this is what it does. So we go to that big rock and see if what we could do, that action that we were destroying the tikis and stuff like that with, we were, doing the jellyfish like that as well. So we figured out we could use that on the big rock. So we used it on the big rock, and it turns out we're like, oh my gosh, that was so cool. And that just drew me to the game even more than I was already so deeply invested and intrigued in. So anyway, after it drew me to the game even more, I started to press some more buttons, figure out the games a lot more than I already knew, and what I knew was so little. So anyway, after we got the big rock destroyed, we were just, oh my gosh, or I at least was like, oh my gosh, we just figured something out. That is so, I was amazed. I was absolutely amazed. So anyway, after we destroy the rock, figure out some more buttons and some more actions, what it does and everything, and we start progressing past the rock. Next thing you know, you see Patrick half-ass naked with a flag in between his. I'm surprised at the time my dad didn't say, son, you don't need to be playing this game, because I didn't know what I was looking at. I really didn't. We see Patrick going along. I start laughing like, hey, that's Patrick. So we move along. We see Patrick, and we get closer and closer to the Krusty Krab. We try to figure out how to get there. And we see this little trampoline thing that you're supposed to bounce on. I didn't know you were supposed to bounce on it, so I just walk up to it and like, how do you use this? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Dad, what do you do? Help. Here we are at this trampoline so close to the Krusty Krab. We figured out that you can jump on the trampoline, and you don't have to move a specific area. If you jump on that trampoline, it's designated to a specific point that it's supposed to send you to. Anyway, we jump on the trampoline, and it sends you all the way over to the Krusty Krab, and it lands on a Goofy Goober token. It does like a little cutscene. So the new place that it sends us to, if you guys remember from the movie, after SpongeBob visits the Krusty Krab and he realizes he didn't get the job as the new manager of the Krusty Krab 2, it's called Goofy Goober. SpongeBob's trying to cheer himself up, and he's just crying like, I didn't get the promotion, and we switch over to Patrick. So anyway, as we're in this area and I'm Patrick, I'm still trying to figure out a little bit of the game. Still really confused on what was going on. Next thing you know, I was trying to figure out this new level, and while I was Patrick, and figure out some new parts of the game that just allowed me to, that the game allowed me to progress on. And next thing you know, my dad comes back to me after being at the counter. Again, he returned to the counter after helping me figure out, how to get to the Krusty Krab and all that. Dad, I want to play this. I was absolutely, it was like I was nearly put under a spell playing that game. I was so deeply invested into it. Anyway, here we are. My dad comes over to me and I'm playing this game. Just made it to a new part of the map. And we all know, once you get to a new part of the map, you want to play the absolute hell out of it. You want to experience that new spot of the map, new place of the map that you get to explore. So yeah, I'm sitting here exploring this new part of the map, and next thing you know, my dad comes back to me saying, "Hey son, we gotta go." "No Dad, I don't want to go. I want to explore this." I threw an absolute tantrum. He was like, "Son, we have to go. We have to go." And I was just an absolute denial and refusal. I was like, "I don't want to go. I don't want to go." I threw an absolute temper tantrum with that. So anyway, he eventually ended up dragging me out of the store, literally. And I'm not sure if he ever bought anything at the place he was at. Here I am on the ride to the house, or a ride back to the house, and I was so mad at my dad. I was like, "Dad, I wanted to play that game." I was just throwing that 3-year-old tantrum. I was throwing a fit as much as I knew how to. And we all know, 3 years old, we all know we were devilish hell spawns. So anyway, I was throwing a fit at my dad. I was like, "Dad, I want to play the game, I want to play the game, I want to play the game." Well, luckily for me, it was close to Christmas. So here it is, going closer to Christmas time. I was still throwing an absolute temper tantrum about the game. It's getting closer to Christmas time. Obviously, my dad and my family, they all still know that I still wanted the game, and I was deeply in love with that game whenever I played it at that pawn shop. So anyway, come along to Christmas. I've already got my Santa's list written down, my gift list, what I want for Christmas is what I want, all that stuff. I had a book. I'm telling you, I had an absolute book. Anyway, come along Christmas Day, I was like, "Oh my gosh, can't wait to get this game." I opened all my presents. I ended up getting a bike. I ended up getting, not a remote control, it's more like a toy vehicle, I guess. One of those plastic ones that run off of a battery. So anyway, here I was playing with that. And later that day, I didn't get the game I wanted. "Santa, why'd you do this to me?" I was like, "I should have gotten the game." Here I was with a dang battery-operated toy vehicle. While the same kids that I was going to school with at the time, I don't mean to sound like I had a spoiled childhood. I definitely, now I realize I was a lot more blessed than I was when it came to my family and all that stuff. I was so mad at Santa for not getting me the game. I was spoiled like that. Next thing you know, later that day, my dad calls me over to his truck. I'm sitting outside playing with my bike after I get done playing with the battery-operated the toy vehicle. I'm playing on my bike. Dad calls me over and he's like, "Hey son, I got something to give you." I was like, "What is it, Dad? What is it? What do you have to show me? What do you have to give me?" And he pulls out a little wrapper. It was like it pretty much looked like it's wrapped in. It was kind of like the napkins that you would get at a cafeteria if you spilled chocolate milk or something like that on the table. And we all know this. Those brown napkins, they didn't do absolutely anything. It's like in that situation, you spill the chocolate milk and you got the teacher scrambling around to get those napkins. Like, "Get the napkins, get the napkins." Like, oh my gosh. I feel like they were treating that situation, if you spilled something on the table, I feel like they were treating getting the napkin situation a lot more serious than they would if there was like a tornado warning or something. It had a little bow on it and everything, and it said, "To Boudreaux." That was my nickname. It said, "To Boudreaux from Santa." It's past Christmas. What is Santa doing? What's Santa doing giving me a gift on like January 3rd? I brushed it off. I didn't ask any questions, and I ended up undoing the bow, ended up opening up the wrapper. To my amazement, I nearly shed a tear whenever I was 3 years old. Turns out Santa ended up giving me, "Oh my gosh, this is the one that I played at the pawn shop." It wasn't exactly the same as I remember. The more and more I played it, the more and more I figured out that this wasn't the one that I played at the pawn shop. Turns out, when I originally played the Spongebob movie game, that was the first game I'd ever played other than the plug-and-play consoles. So anyway, I'm sitting here playing this new game, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." So I'm sitting here playing this new SpongeBob game that I had, and I guarantee I was nearly on it for hours at a time. As a 3-year-old, you had a lot of time to spare. You had no responsibilities, nobody you had to see, visit, nothing like that. Falling even more in love than I did with the movie game. I absolutely fell in love with that game. Yes, it took me over 2 years to somewhat learn the game, but I got an absolute hang of it. I was like, "I am the best person in the world playing this game." Here I am 2 years later. I still hadn't beaten the game. As you're in there, that's pretty much the absolute final level of the game that you have to play. I was sitting there at the very, very last. I don't know if you guys have played it, but if you have, those of you who have played the game and not only played it but beaten it, or at least gotten as far as I was. So yeah, you destroy all of the glass pieces, and the very last one that you have to destroy, and then you get after that, after you destroy that one, you have something open that you get a chance to hit the. You have a chance to hit the trampoline. I think after you hit the glass, you have to shoot down plankton, or not shoot down. I'm thinking of shoot because I'm shooting zombies right now. Anyway, you have to knock down plankton. Or yeah, actually, you can shoot them with the little cruise bubble thing that you get as a pretty much like a power-up that you get at SpongeBob, and you have them go away, and then up comes the little trampoline, like pretty much the same type of trampoline that was in first part of the game on SpongeBob the movie game. So after you hit this trampoline, it's supposed to send you up to like the last part. You have to hit 3 more glass pieces. You end up beating the game because that fully, and next thing you know, when SpongeBob is down, you end up beating the game. Heck, like I said, it took me nearly 2 years. Story behind this, turns out I didn't even get to that point even after those 2 years of plankton for that very last time, and you knock them down and you get to that, you have that trampoline pop up. I did not get to that point. There were so many times where I ended up trying to get plankton. You know, I respawned at the very top and pretty much had to start it all over again. And there were so many times, I cannot stress it enough, there were so many times that I downed plankton and I got so close to that very last hold. The absolute more and more that I played it, as in the more I would play it, the more I'd knock down plankton, the more times it spawned up to the top. Very next time it would happen. I'm not sure how this happened, but the memory card that we had, somehow we ended up losing that. I don't know if it was so that memory card that was plugged into the PlayStation 2 that we had that had the SpongeBob game save on it. We lost it. Came back from school one day wanting to play SpongeBob. I loaded up the PlayStation 2, loaded up the game, started on the menu. I tried to press load game, play a new game, load game, you know, etc, etc. So anyway, I'm sitting here trying to press load game and it won't let me press, and I look over a new game, it's less transparent, and I compare the title where it says new game and I compare it to where it says load game. Load game, turns out it was grayed out, so I had no option but to press new game. You know, I end up getting my very first spatula. I'm like, why do I have so little spatulas? I've only got one spatula. What happened? That game save that I'd progressed for those 2 years, it was on that memory card that was somehow lost. So here I'm starting out pretty much brand new. I was so distraught. I was sad. I was beyond sad. I'd realized that every time you turned off the PlayStation 2, the progress would reset. Because I got so far at the point, you know, let's just say if I had to go to sleep for the night or something like that, I would leave the PlayStation 2 on. And this obviously just depended if I had gotten so far of the game. You know, if I didn't make it that far, I'd just turn it off. Unbeknownst to me, it turns out it was a really bad tornado. They ended up calling us into the closet, you know. So I left my PlayStation 2 on before they called me in there. I was actually about to purchase the very last door to fighting the SpongeBob robot. So I was about to purchase that, and I left my PlayStation 2 on. I pretty much had to nearly drop the controller. Thank the Lord, it just went straight over our house. It was an absolute miracle. It was a blessing that it went over the house. So anyway, after the storm had blown over, everybody was called out of the closet, you know, 4th or 5th time that I was that close to the end of the game. So the storm blew over, I went back to my room, started playing the game. As it turns out, it was not the TV that was cut off, going across the entire house, all of our neighbors and everything like that. Where I was at the game, the point that I was in the game was gone. Remember, I didn't have a memory card or anything like that for that PlayStation 2. The progress that I made was what I made while that console was still active and turned on. I somewhat had control over it. I was like, okay, I can turn it off now. I won't turn it off, all that stuff. I had control. Come to terms, you know, with like, okay, it's fine, I can deal with it. That very same day that I almost beat the game, power ended up cutting off. And I lost all my progression. You know, after those 2 or 3 years, I'd learned the game, and figured out how to beat certain levels and all that stuff, and it got a lot easier over time. I would only have to leave my PlayStation on for a couple weeks at a time.
3 hours later.
I've got the game in PC, and I was able to emulate SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Definitely much younger at the time. So anyway, I'm emulating the SpongeBob game. I come across some cheat codes online that I ended up entering. Let's just say if I put in a certain cheat code, let's say I would hold L2, R2, L1, R1, and press a certain button combination. Let's just say square, square, x, square, square. And let's just say that would give me 10 spatulas each time I input it. So I was able to give myself as many spatulas as I had wanted. Once again, spatulas are the in-game currency that you use to pretty much unlock doors and move further onto the map and explore new areas. I gave myself a lot of spatulas and all that. While yes, I did have to go through the bosses, even though I already had the power-ups that you get for beating the bosses. Still had to play against the bosses, which I couldn't complain too much. I'm on the very last stage of the map. You guys aren't gonna believe it, but nearly after 13 years of being so absolutely close to beating the game, 13 years, I ended up beating the game. Can you imagine? Gosh, I feel like Rose DeWitt Decatur on Titanic when she said, "It's been 84 years. Oh, it's okay. Try to remember anything at all. Do you want to hear the story or not, Mr. Lovett? It's been 84 years. Wait, is it 83? It's been 80 something years, and I can still smell the fresh paint. In which I had not been able to play the game, let alone progress and nearly beat it. 13 years it took for me to beat the game. When I tell you guys, I felt so nostalgic, I literally shed a tear. I'm just not afraid to say it. At the age of 15, 16 years old, I shed a tear, an internal tear in my heart. I recommend to any of you guys out there, you haven't beaten in so long, and if you haven't been able to come across that game either, like if there is something limiting you from getting that game, I implore, find a way to get that game, find a way to play that game, and find a way to beat that game. That childhood game that you used to play, I nearly advise find some way to get a hold of that game and play that game. Beating one of those childhood games is so nostalgic, it's so heart-tugging, it makes you so emotional. It's one of the best feelings I could ever recommend. Between those 13 years, whenever I was 4 or 5, need I also mention, within that same time span of not being able to beat the game for 13 years, I'd also played a large amount of the Spongebob movie game, and the same situation was for the Spongebob movie game. I got so far in the game and I couldn't beat it. I couldn't beat it for so long. It was the same situation. So not only did I get a chance to finally beat the game that was my childhood game, I also finally got to play, after those same amount of years, I finally got to play the movie game from 2004 that I first originally fell in love with. So my point is, being all happy and positive, I'm gonna switch it up. Once again, I suggest strongly that for those gamers out there that are so nostalgic for their childhood games that haven't been able to play it in so long, granted, some of you might have been able to play it and beat it, you know, since that nostalgic time, I guess, where it formed. If you haven't been able to, I recommend that you find a way to play that game. You find a way to get that game. You find a way to beat it. Pour your heart out into that game. Anyway, that's the conclusion of my little story about SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. While yes, I'm not exactly playing the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom game. I'm kind of playing a make-off of the starting room on that game. If you guys did enjoy this video, if you did, make sure to smash the like button, drop a subscription down below with the post notifications on, and I'll see you guys for the next one.